Now let's bring in Mike Davis, president of Article 3 Project. We haven't seen the indictment yet. So what specifically do you think it's going to show?
Well, I think what it's going to show, Jesse, is what we've been talking about since August, that this is a bogus indictment of a former president for the non-crime of a former president having his presidential records in the office of former president, which is funded by Congress with Secret Service protection and federally funded staff and security clearances. The Presidential Records Act specifically allows presidents to have their presidential records. And the Biden Justice Department is ignoring the Presidential Records Act and trying to charge Trump under the Espionage Act, which is not applicable to a former president's handling of his presidential records.
And Fox has just confirmed that the former president has been indicted by Joe Biden's Justice Department. So there is no crime under the Presidential Records Act. All presidents have been able to access all of their presidential records. How are they saying this is espionage?
Well, that's a very good question. They're trying to say that because President Trump had records that were marked classified in the office of former president, that somehow he has violated the Espionage Act. They're not saying it's classified, apparently. They're going to say it's national defense information. But what they're ignoring is that under the Presidential Records Act, any documents created or received by the president or his White House staff is a presidential record. It does not matter whether they're classified or not. And a good example of this is an Obama judge's ruling in D.C. in 2012 when Bill Clinton got caught with 8 years of highly classified audio recordings of his presidency stuffed in his sock drawer. And the Obama judge correctly held that the Presidential Records Act applies. And if a president takes his presidential records when he leaves office, they are deemed personal, and it does not matter whether they're classified. And that's the Presidential Records Act. The Espionage Act is not even applicable to a former president's handling of his presidential records.
So it's a garbage prosecution. Let's just accept that. Let's say it moves forward. I don't know whether this is going to be heard in Florida, in Washington, D.C. Do you know that?
It's unclear. I would be surprised if it's not in D.C. because I think this Jack Smith has proven, and so has Merrick Garland, who's made this. Merrick Garland had to make this decision for whether to indict Trump or not. And we know that Jack Smith is a partisan prosecutor. Jack Smith got overturned 8-0. It would have been 9-0 for his bogus prosecution of another Republican potential presidential candidate, Virginia Governor Bob McDonnell, back in 2014, I believe. And it shows a pattern that Jack Smith is the political prosecutor who the Democrats bring in to try to take out Republican presidential candidates. And if he brings the charges in D.C., it shows that he's very political because he knows that it is the D.C. judges are uniparty judges, and the D.C. jury pool is like 93% Democrat and like 99% Trump deranged. And so I expect these charges in D.C.
So if it goes to D.C., right now we're in June 2023. You got a Republican primary just starting to heat up. What is the timetable for a trial in the middle of a Republican primary, possibly a general election?
Well, that's the issue. This is clearly election interference by Joe Biden. This is clearly election interference. Isn't it funny that the day that Joe Biden gets caught taking $10 million from Burisma, Biden's Attorney General Merrick Garland greenlights this indictment of his leading presidential rival? I mean, the timing is just coincidental, right? Well,
yeah.
Here's what happens. Trump could try to move to dismiss the indictment, the sufficiency of the indictment early on, because there's not a legal basis for the indictment. The Presidential Records Act, not the Espionage Act, applies. I doubt a uniparty judge is going to go along with that. And so this will probably have to get resolved by the Supreme Court. It should be 9-0 by the Supreme Court if they actually follow the law. But at the end of the day, Trump may get elected in 2024 as a convicted felon who the Supreme Court has to reverse his conviction because it's a bogus
Oh, my
conviction.
God. Oh, my God. That will be something. Mike Davis, thank you so much.
Thank you.